In 2017, an unknown chef turned a simple gesture into gold. Literally, Salt Bae didn't just sell meat. He sold spectacle, luxury, and fame on a plate covered in 24-karat gold. His restaurant became a runway for celebrities and millionaires. But behind the dark glasses and the dramatic wrist flick, there was another story. Labor lawsuits, fraud, fires in his restaurants, political scandals, and a fall as absurd as it was inevitable. Today, his empire is crumbling, and his name no longer inspires admiration, but embarrassment. This is the real story of how the world's most famous chef slowly cooked his own destruction. It all started with one video, just 36 seconds long, enough to turn him into a global phenomenon. Chapter 1. Humble beginnings. Before the gold, before the show, before the cameras, there was Pashali, a small town in eastern Turkey, dry, cold, harsh. That's where Nusret Gökçe was born in 1983, the son of a miner. At 11, he left school, not out of rebellion, out of necessity. By 14, he was already working as a butcher's apprentice in Istanbul. 10 hours a day, 7 days a week. His hands, long before sprinkling salt with style, cleaned blood and bones in a neighborhood slaughterhouse. But he didn't stay there. Nusret wanted more. He traveled to Argentina to study cuts, to the United States to understand the business. While others slept, he sharpened knives. In 2010, he opened his first restaurant, Nusret. Chapter 2. The Global Rise. One random day in 2017, Nusret filmed a video, 36 seconds, a cut of meat, an exaggerated gesture, a wrist movement that looked choreographed. That was it, and that was enough. The clip went viral. They called him Salt Bae. In less than 48 hours, he was a meme, an icon, and a star chef. The formula was simple: thick steaks, salt in slow motion, more style than anyone else, and while many laughed, he built an empire. His Istanbul restaurant became a celebrity hotspot. Then came Dubai, then Miami, London, New York. Everyone wanted to be there, not for the food, but for the photo. The luxury wasn't in the flavor, it was in the price. A gold-covered tomahawk for $950, an $11 Red Bull. A carpaccio turned into a status symbol. Salt Bae wasn't selling meat anymore. He was selling a brand. A tight white shirt, dark sunglasses, chains, and an experience handcrafted for Instagram. Every dish was a story, every slice, a TikTok. But somewhere between the smoke and the cameras, something got lost. The flavor. And sooner or later, that was going to cost him. Chapter 3. The First Cracks. Every empire, no matter how bright it shines, starts breaking from the inside. Salt Bae's was no exception. The first ones to speak were the critics. While social media applauded the show, the experts pointed out the obvious. Behind the spectacle, the food wasn't good enough. Cold plates, tough meats, presentations that looked more like magic tricks than fine dining. But the real warning came from his customers. In London, thousands complained about absurd prices and mediocre service. In Boston, his restaurant was temporarily shut down for health violations. Profits in some cities dropped by more than 40%. The complaints were no longer whispers. They were headlines. Salt Bae kept selling luxury. But the glamour was starting to rot. Chapter 4. Labor claims and internal scandals. While social media adored him, inside his kitchens it was a different world. The first complaints came quietly. Then came the lawyers. Former employees accused him of taking their tips, yelling, humiliating, and firing people on a whim. In 2021, a judge ordered him to pay $230,000 to workers for abuse and mistreatment. But that was only the beginning. In the U.S., he hired Turkish grill chefs under work visas. He registered them as managers just to avoid paying overtime. They worked more than 70 hours a week without extra pay. Besides cooking, they cleaned, acted as security, even during the pandemic. And when he was present, he watched them personally. Some described him as a boss with a god complex. In their own words, working for Salt Bae was like being in the Hunger Games. What began as a dream built on meat and hard work became a machine of fear. Chapter 5. Public Scandals. In 2018, during Venezuela's food crisis, Salt Bae posted a video serving meat to Nicolas Maduro. While millions starved, he smiled and sliced steaks with pride. The outrage was immediate, the criticism worldwide. But he never apologized. Not a word. In Istanbul, another scandal. During a fire show, several customers were badly burned. The restaurant was accused of covering up the accident. Nothing was posted, nothing shared. If it didn't help the brand, it disappeared. And as all this happened, more labor lawsuits piled up. In New York, Miami, and Dallas, his restaurants were investigated for labor fraud. Cooks working non-stop, no fair pay, and terrified to speak up. The viral chef was no longer the hero of Instagram. He was in the news for all the wrong reasons. Chapter 6. The Turning Point. Until this moment, Salt Bae was controversial, but still powerful, still famous, still influential. That changed on December 18th, 2022. World Cup final. Argentina wins. Messi lifts the trophy. And suddenly, there he is. Salt Bae storms the field, pushing his way through the players, touching the trophy, reserved only for champions and heads of state, and chasing Messi like a desperate fan. The discomfort was obvious. Messi ignored him, looked away, but Salt insisted. He touched him, grabbed his arm, smiled. He got the photo. But it wasn't glory. It was the perfect picture of excess. The chef who wanted to be part of history became the meme of the night. Days later, FIFA sanctioned him and banned him from future official events. The world no longer saw him as an icon. They saw him for what he was in that moment, a desperate attention seeker. Chapter 7. The Empire's Decline. After the World Cup, the character lost its shine, and the business lost customers. The complaints no longer came from critics or ex-employees. They came from the people paying the bill. In London, while charging £400 for a steak, they cut the restaurant's heating to save money. Customers walked out freezing and broke. In Dubai, some people spent over €100 in a single visit and described it as a scam wrapped in gold. The balance between price and experience collapsed. By 2025, the Beverly Hills restaurant, one of his U.S. flagships, shut down. Just 4 years after opening, there were no lines, no cameras, no celebrities, only empty tables and unpaid bills. And it wasn't just that location. Canceled reservations, a reputation in freefall, multiple silent closures. His viral image no longer filled rooms. The spectacle lost its audience. And the chef who once had it all became the face of a collapsing empire. Chapter 8. From Gold to Dust. Salt Bae had it all. Global fame. Restaurants in the richest cities on earth. A personal brand so powerful, he could charge $1,000 for a steak without anyone questioning it. But the problem with living off spectacle is that the audience moves on. And when the lights go out, what remains isn't the pose, it's the product. And his simply wasn't good enough. Today, Nusret Gökçe still owns part of his empire, but his reputation is in ruins. What began as an inspiring story about hard work, vision, and charisma ended as a warning about ego, greed, and the fragility of viral fame. Because in the end, a brand built on image can evaporate just as fast as salt between your fingers. If you made it this far, you already know this isn't light entertainment. It's content that confronts, that reveals, that doesn't sugarcoat. So if you want more uncomfortable truths like this one, subscribe to Drakonomic, because the next story might be even worse.